object do you think we live on?
I think we live on a flat, immovable, stationary plane, highs and lows, mountains and valleys, and everything. But water shows that the Earth is level. Large bodies of water at rest lay flat, testably, scientifically, provably flat. And that's something we're going to talk about, something we can look into. But here's the thing. Globe earthers have misconceptions of what flat earthers believe. Globe earthers, I said, you know what? I heard about this flat earth. Let me Google flat earth. And boom, they Google flat earth. They get this. This is not what flat earth is. No flat earther even conceives of anything like this, right? This is what globe earthers think flat earth is. So what is flat earth? Well, the world that we live in, the world that we can explore is clearly not moving, not spinning like they tell us, and flat. So where do we live? We live in what I call the world pond, right? A pond is a body of water that has a container. That's the land that's around the pond that's higher than the level of the pond, right? Lower one side of the pond, what happens? The water is going to find its next level, right? So what is the container of our world? The container of our world is the shoreline of our world pond, and that is Antarctica. They tell us Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of the world, of the ball. They tell us it's the highest land on Earth. At least they tell us something true. But the truth is Antarctica is bigger than the rest of the world combined. It's unexplorable because it's off limits, right? In 1959, they came up with the Antarctic Treaty, and 12 nations signed on. Now another 50, whatever. Now there's like 50, like everyone signed on, and basically saying no one is allowed to explore Antarctica. You can't even question the treaty until the year 2041. No treaty has ever lasted that long, but this one goes uncontested. Antarctic Treaty. You can look it up, and then you go from there. Back to you.
Interesting. So I was going to ask, so with the whole Antarctica, so your belief is that nobody has traveled to Antarctica and they are not allowed to go to there? Is that correct?
No, not quite. Okay. You can go. You can take a guided tour to Antarctica. They'll take you to this peninsula. Let me pull up my image again. They'll take you. Where did it go? I just lost Antarctica. They'll take you just to the little peninsula that sticks out off of Santiago. They'll show you some penguins, which may not even be indigenous to Antarctica. And they'll show you icebergs, but you're not allowed to explore the outer lands at all. So, it's very, very restricted. And anybody that tries to go there is turned around by force. And we have videos of some fishermen that tried to go towards Antarctica, and they were stopped by a Navy destroyer, told to leave immediately. When you go to Antarctica, they take you here. Gigantic, because it's bigger than some countries. But you're not allowed to go out here. What's out here? Are we under a dome? Is there more land? Are there more continents? Are there more oceans? We don't know.
Interesting. Okay, well, actually, I kind of want to backtrack a bit. And part of my understanding is I want to see like the journey you've taken to come to this belief that you have of the flat earth. So like, where did this journey start for you essentially? And what was the building blocks to which led to you believe the perspective you believe nowadays?
Good question. I was doing a podcast about conspiracies, and I hate using that word, but about deceptions in the world. And people started sending me flat earth stuff, and I ignored it. Hold on one second. All right. Sorry about that. I just had to quickly respond to something important.
Yeah, no worries.
So I was forced to look into it reluctantly, and I went in with a closed mind. Hey, I'm just going to prove you morons wrong. Everyone knows the Earth is a globe. We learned it 2,000 years ago, and I found out everything I thought about the globe. Every proof that I thought I had is untrue. Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, says when a boat goes over the curve of a ball, you lose it from the bottom up. He's absolutely right. Unfortunately, we don't live in Narnia on a ball, right? We live on a flat plane, and there's reasons that things disappear from the bottom up, not going over a physical ball. For example, if we live on a ball, like they tell us, do you know how the circumference of our globe ball is?
How big is it?
Yeah, what's the circumference?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
So this is the point. And by the way, don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of the questions I'm going to ask you when I first got into this.
Yeah.
Right. But I defended the globe with just assumed proofs, and I knew none of the details. So it's 24,901 miles around. If you use globe math, a 6-foot tall person standing at the edge of the water should see a physical horizon no farther than 3 miles away. No, because of the curve. The water's going to drop below my eyesight.
You said 30 miles, correct?
3. At 3 miles, this is globe math. At 3 miles, the drop is 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm 6 feet tall, I'm only going to see an edge, a physical edge 3 miles away. And then any water beyond that will be below that physical horizon. You understand?
Mm.
And the problem is we can see much farther than that. That's why you just said, no, you mean 30 miles. 30 miles, it's much deep. There's hundreds of feet of curvature, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, when something is farther than that, you should not be able to see it unless you believe it's magically refracting up to eye level, and then you see it. But we can zoom in. Today's consumer optics have made it so we can see too far. Like, for example, do you see a boat out here?
No, I do not.
No. But as I zoom in and increase the angular size, a boat shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so perspective, things get smaller. Now, as I zoom out, we know that this thing is in view, a straight line from me. And as I zoom out, it starts to disappear from the bottom up. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The little waves in the foreground block it. Like my finger cannot block my chin to my nose unless it's closer to you. And then it could block the whole bottom of my face.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this is just showing that things disappear because of angular resolution, right? Here's another example. Right here, we got a camera level at the top of the table. And as we zoom in, increasing the angular size, all of a sudden you can see this. We'll call it a boat. We can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I zoom out, its angular size, the reflection from the table, the miraging, make it disappear. But if I lift up, I can now see farther than that thing. Right? So people go, well, on a ball, if you go up higher, you can see farther over the ball. Same thing on a flat earth. If I stack 3 more boats on top of that, when I'm zoomed out, you'd see the top 3, but you wouldn't see the bottom one. And if I dragged it farther away, next one would disappear. It disappears from the bottom up. These are things that they don't teach you about your eyes in school.